Hello and welcome to today's content, which will be on Kitone summer version. And sorry for being a little bit late, but I did have work today, so I had this information a little bit out late. But without further ado, let's begin. Alright, so for the abilities page, I've changed it up a little bit just so that it's more concise, because I feel like I've been talking way too much in videos for just blabbering on, kind of like I am doing right now. So I decided to change it up a little bit. First off, our base unit, which is also going to be her main job, the Kodama wielder. She's going to have unavailable pain, which is nice to have. Nimble movement, very good for mobility. Anti-magic wall, very good for anti-magic. Bursting light, which is good AoE. And then heart-like needles. And then her limit break, which is Kitone's swim ring attack. As you can see here, she doesn't actually have too many attack moves from her main job specifically. For her EX upgrades, however, Heart-like Needles turns into Heart-like Needles, Body-like Steel, which is going to additionally give also slash resistance up to 25% to her allies and herself, which is huge. 25%, pretty good. After that, her EX ability is going to be Broken Swords, Shattered Stabs, and which is not bad damage, but most importantly is that it's going to be decreasing the slash and magic attack types potential of damage on taking that much from enemies, which is going to be very nice to have. As you can see, however, overall she doesn't have too much firepower at will, because as you can see, Bursting Light is going to have a cast time. From here, her sub job for her Kodama is going to have Earth Rendering Pain, which is going to be pretty good for damage, and Spirit Breaking Pain. Diffuse Perplexity is not going to be too useful, honestly. It's not going to be too useful. For Rune Knight, we're going to have Drain Evocation, which is very nice to have. Fireblade, but most importantly is going to be Hazard Slash, because she does need a good damaging move, and this is going to be very good. Keep in mind it does consume her HP, so yeah, you have to keep mind in that. Now for her Ninja sub-job, sadly there is nothing good here that really scales with her magic attack stat, so it's kind of a dead sub-job in terms of abilities. You could, however, make use of hide and such, but everything else is just not going to be relevant enough for her abilities. If anything, her Rune Knight subjob would be most preferable. So for the resistances and passives, she has 15% base slash, 0 pierce, -5 to strike, -5 to missile, 10% magic. So you're probably thinking oh, these are pretty low. Well, you're not wrong outside of slash, and the magic at 10% is not too bad, and I'll explain why soon. First off, she has 0% AoE resistance. However, with her master ability, she has 10% single target resistance. Very nice to have. At level 120, with her master ability included, she has 0 base defense and a base of 13 spirit. Very nice to have for spirit in particular. For resistances, the status is 50% to stop and disable is one of the best combinations you can ask for. Very, very nice. She also has 10% to confusion, so not bad. Her master ability, as I said earlier, is going to have the single target resistance as well as a base of 5 spirit added on. And those are already added at the top above where I already said. As you can see here, really kind of depressing, she does not have any mono element buffs here, which is very, very important to think about because she's also an 80 cost. And yeah, very, very disappointing I just had to say that. But yeah, she has 3 move, 1 jump. She's an 80 cost unit. For her passives, specifically Sharp Mind, because she does not have any attack type imperils or penetration outside of items, I do believe she needs her spirit penetration for sure, which is going to be coming from Sharp Mind. Outside of that, Ice Spirit's Blessing, very good if you want the spirit. The ice resistance not really too useful right now, especially because not many people are bringing ice into fire units. There's no real reason to. And the magic up is going to be nice because she does have a decent amount of magic, but she needs this passive. She wants to kind of go beyond what she already has. For the niche and flex, fire enhancing rune, it's not bad. It does give her a good amount of damage, but I feel like the other passives might be giving her more of a benefit to what she needs already. Shadowrunner is always good as well, especially for the agility and luck up. However, like I said before, compared to her other passives, it would be a little bit more niche or flex. Similar to that, Shikuchi is also in that scenario for niche and flex. It could be very good, giving her 4 move, 2 jump. I don't know if you want her to really go in that quickly though on her own, unless you have other teammates to kind of keep up. For her reaction abilities, her steeled ephemeral form is going to turn to Ever Again Steeled Presence, which is going to be very nice because it changes the active proc chance from 20% to 30%, which is very nice to have if you're just trying to reduce damage overall. Outside of that, music commutation is going to be very nice to have. I think, honestly, if you went with the defensive build for Kitone, I would use the magic commutation. Outside of that, probably going to use ever again Steeled Presence. Poison Barb I would not really suggest using because it's just not good enough in how fast tempo our games are lately. Moving on to Kitone's rating out of 5. I also changed this setup as well because I felt like I was also drowning on like a lot more on other ratings, so I changed it up. Overall, I do believe her rating is going to be at most 3.5 out of 5, and the reason why is for the pros is that she's able to have a base of 25 spirit with her passive. That's very, very high, especially just for a mage in general, and this is kind of what she banks on for her survivability. She has the magic barrier as well, so as you can see, she is going to be anti-magic with a lot of spirit. She doesn't have too many defenses for physical, however, because most people are slash right now especially, and not a lot of people are like going out of slash right now, her having a decent amount of slash resistance with her EX buff is going to be very nice. Her single target resistance helps a lot in 1v1 situations, like right now I believe on this guild map, was it the beach? Slot 3, where they're kind of like on like the hill by themselves, is kind of like a one-on-one situation. That's going to help significantly in terms of reducing damage. Because she's also a fire type, she can make very good use of the Encounter of Heroes vision card. Very nice to have. She has one of the best set of status resistances, as I said, disable and stop. Very good combination. She has innate 40% spirit penetration with her passive. She can get up to, I believe, 60% with Heart-like Needles. Very nice to have. As I said earlier, she's able to grant 25% slash resistance to her party and herself with her buff. Very good, because this means if she uses that buff, she's literally at a base of 40% slash resistance before anything else that she has equipped. This is insanely good in my opinion. She can also give it to her other teammates, which is why it's pretty important to say that. She actually has super high mobility because she has access to both Shikuchi and a nimble movement. You have to keep that in mind. She is very capable of being very mobile if you need her to. Or you just want her to be very fast with agility because she already has a good amount of agility. With Shadowrunner, she could be one of the highest agility mages in the game. Or just one of the fastest units in the game in general because of Shadowrunner. Her limit break sleep status can be extremely strong because of the extra effects of sleep. And what I mean by extra effects of sleep is that you have a 100% hit rate against those units, as well as doing a little, I believe there is a little bit of bonus damage as well from sleep. I would have to double check, but I think there is something like that. Outside of that, if your teammates don't instantly break the sleep, that is a one turn basically being like stunned. So it's pretty nice to have if you're able to like utilize it correctly. She has 2 attack types that can deal relevant damage, which is going to be slash and magic attack types. And she has a very strong synergy with the meta fire units and vision card setup, such as like King Mont and or Rain. She has a very good setup for that. Now the cons. She has 50% starting AP as a mage. This is very important because she has kind of expensive AP costs. She has the same issue as Mua, where they have lower starting AP compared to like Yuna or like Black Robed Helena and such. So it's kind of it's a little worrying and like concerning, honestly. She has cast time on almost all her abilities outside of her main job, outside of also her EX and limit break. Not outside of her main job, sorry, I meant almost all her abilities on main job has cast times outside of the EX abilities and or limit break. She has no mono team master ability, means she's gonna have a little bit more HP compared to other units, as well as less damage. 15 elemental modifier missing is kind of important, especially with there just being an 80 cost unit right now. She uses staffs and cannot use, she uses maces and not staffs, which is kind of bad because maces are going to be limited to either platinum mace or healing mace for being relevant. While healing mace may let Kitone kind of heal, it won't be enough compared to other units, and there's no way it's going to be anywhere comparable to like Yuna's healing and such, or like Black Robed Helena's healing, because she has so much magic attack stat. Like Kitone has to work kind of hard to get her magic attack stat up like pretty significantly. Outside of that, she also is vulnerable to silence. This means if she gets silenced, there are no magic attacks going to be used from her. It's going to be very sad. She's also very weak to spirit penetration and debuffs, and I say this because her whole entire kit is kind of around her spirit, her high spirit. So if you have like high spirit penetration or debuffs, that's going to significantly reduce her survivability there. She has less damage output due to no mono team master ability, as I said, and her master ability is kind of geared towards being a little bit more defensive, despite being a mostly DPS oriented role or like counter magic role. So it's kind of, she's really not dealing enough of what she can be doing. And if I had to compare her to like Mua, I would say Mua does her job kind of better. But because of element and the slash resistance like increase from her buff, she has a little bit, just a little bit more usage in that department. She has no magic barrier breaks, nor any multi-hits, nor any imperils, so it's very hard to boost her damage any further like by herself. She definitely needs help from her teammates if she wants to be relevant for damage. Since she has no base attack type penetration, that means she can be wall out from her damage potential. This means like Rain, or in the future like Charlotte or other magic tanks, can easily lock out Kitone if they just have like a good magic either a magic attack type resistance or a slash resistance as well, because she does have good spirit penetration, but she doesn't have any attack type penetration nor any like attack type imperils, as well as like elemental, so she really only works off her spirit penetration, unfortunately. She doesn't even have enough support slash utility abilities to fall back on if her DPS role can't be satisfied. She literally only has that heart-like needles buff, like her slash resistance. So what happens when you're gonna face a pierce unit, a missile unit, or a strike unit? She literally does not have enough of a bonus like flexibility there. She's gonna be a lot more niche of a pick. She's gonna fall kind of under the same category like Freyavia in that sense, like just of usability. Like you have to carefully pick what you want to fight against. I mean, they will do well if you pick the right opponents, but it's going to be a lot more, you have to be more picky in how they can be used. And the more difficult a unit needs to be like tuned to be used, the rating definitely goes down, which is why I gave her overall a 3.5 out of 5 at most, in my opinion. For her TMR chase rating, I give it a 3 out of 5. I think it's not too bad, but I definitely don't think it's anywhere like relevant to like chase or like you should think about too much. It's gonna be the summer hair ribbon. It's an accessory type, 314 HP, not bad. 10 spirit, pretty good. Only 12 accuracy. There's no agility either, so it's kind of just so-so. It's nice to have the spirit, however. It's gonna be called, the active ability is gonna be called Steady Summer Flower, which is gonna increase your missile resistance up to 15% for 3 turns, and it nullifies silence, charm, and immobilize for allies. Pretty good here, especially for live PvP, which is why I would ever use it really realistically, and or a very heavy missile map, which is not too often. It does happen, however, so yeah, that's why I gave the chase rating of her TMR a 3 out of 5 overall. So here are some example setups that can work well with Kitone Summer. There's no reason for me to really do like the TMRs and such, because it really either boils down to what you want them to do, etc. So I did it more on kind of like units, like especially with their elements, as well as like vision card setup for example. So if she was to be paired with Rain, either one of them can use the Encounter of Heroes vision card because it definitely helps them, but on the left side I put him mostly for Rain because Rain gets more benefits personally from the vision card. Outside of that, Keeper of the Crystal is very nice to have because of its magic attack stat, as well as increasing your team's your fire elemental attack by 35. Very strong if you want more damage in general, which Kitone kind of really needs. Outside of that, we have King Mont. I put him specifically for the AoE resistance for Death Machine because Kitone does have 10% already single resistance, so adding 20 AoE resistance significantly just increases her survivability overall as like a general thing, so it's very nice to have. She can use the Encounter of Heroes, which kind of like fits in the magic vision card slot, so that Mont can focus more on his own vision cards as well, so that's why that combination is pretty good. Now, if Winter Macherie actually got her EX, which is really overdue, I just have to always say it for the winter units, like, come on, we've been waiting. But yeah, if Macherie uses the Phoenix one, it could definitely increase a lot to, like, if you use this combination of vision cards, the Phoenix and Encounter of Heroes, then you significantly increase your slash and your magic attack resistances for both, like, your entire team that is fire units. This is insanely strong considering that, like, if you pick your opponents carefully, especially people who are only using Dwayne and Helena because they just want to ooga booga kill everything, this is a very strong combination if you want to fight against them. And yeah, here we are at the end of the video, and yeah, if you like this new changes on the unit review and such, let me know in the comments, like and subscribe, and until next video, peace out.